Welcome, gathered friends, and thank you for joining us once again as we light the lantern and begin another adventure. Tonight we will be playing Era of the Dragons, our D&D homebrew world. My name is Archangelic or Mal, and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm going to be your game master tonight. So let's go ahead and introduce our players, and we'll start with you, Silver.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as over on YouTube, and I will be playing Fenxiris Roxalar, a dragonborn rogue cleric who uses she, her pronouns, and I use he, they pronouns.
Levi.
Hello, I am Levi. Today I shall be playing Torsten Pinewalker, the half-elf armor artificer. We both use he, they pronouns.
Tara.
Hi, I'm Tara. My pronouns are she, hers, and tonight I'll be playing Merlin Hendrix, a chromatic dragonborn wizard whose pronouns are he, his.
And Jaden.
Hey friends, I am Siliqui Jaden. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me most places online as FatSapphicBro. I will be playing the Tiefling Barbarian Grief. Grief uses he, they pronouns and also uses a combat wheelchair. I'm an ambulatory wheelchair IRL and like to play it in game. So the combat wheelchair is designed by Mark Thompson, who you can find on Twitter at the username Mustangs Art, and the info is also linked in our chat. Welcome back to our space here at Lantern Light Adventures. This is home to all of our TTRPG and related content on Twitch. All of our games are also uploaded to our Lantern Light Adventures YouTube channel. There's a link to our link tree in the chat. You can click on that. It'll take you to all of our various social media pages so you can follow us everywhere we are. If you want to be kept up to date on everything we're doing, you can also feel free to join our Discord, which is linked in the chat. We will be starting a new project soon. We will be playing a new modern magical fantasy game. We have been collaboratively building the world together using I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic? Our world building session will be a Patreon exclusive. Then we'll play our game using Montecook Games' Cypher system. More information about that will be coming soon. Thanks for joining us for Era of the Dragons, our D&D 5e actual play. We stream this game most Sundays, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Pacific. As for where you can find us the rest of the week, most Tuesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific, we stream an Empty Dream, our Girl by Moonlight actual play, but we will not be playing that this week at all because we've got a couple players out. Most Wednesdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Pacific, we stream The Old Stories, The Breathing Mountain, our Old Gods of Appalachia actual play. As a warning, this is a horror game, so please take care of yourselves as needed. The last two sessions will happen this week, September 18th, and the following week, September 25th. Normally, we would not be streaming on the final 7 days of the month, but we needed to make an exception due to scheduling issues, and we hope you'll tune in as we wrap up this game. We also record an audio cast after show for each of our games where we go over any necessary advancement steps and debrief from the game. You can listen to these for free on Patreon at patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. All of these after shows will always be free, but we appreciate any contributions and support as it helps us continue to bring you awesome queer content. Just as a reminder, each month we take the last 7 days of the month off so that we can edit and prepare more content for y'all, as well as have a bit of a break to handle our day-to-day responsibilities. And finally, in support of a free Palestine, we will be financially supporting a family through the Pass the Hat project. More information for that will be shared once we're assigned our family. Until then, there is a donation link for Doctors Without Borders on our page that you can support in the meantime. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you so much for that. There's announcements, so let's get into it. Last we left our heroes upon following an owlbear to its nest after it stole your pack. You stumbled upon an ancient ruin of a temple. Taking the time to investigate, you found that this was the temple to the wellspring of rot, an ancient source of magic in the world of Sphera. In the hall of his corpse kings, the wellspring informed you that you must be tested for the battles to come and pulled you into its realm. In the swamp of its infinite rot, you fought a worm-like incarnation, very nearly losing the fight, but never giving up. You defeated this incarnation and were granted boons, a resistance to the rot, and a great axe named Wound. You now return to your mission to find the restoration encampment and the hordes of riches being siphoned out of the lower kingdoms. As you all gather yourselves and kind of exit this temple into the upper part where the owlbear architecture level, if we will, of this temple, what would you like to do? I know y'all are pretty hurt.
Can we rest?
You absolutely can rest.
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely get some rest, but maybe not in the home of the owlbears. We might want to make camp outside. Um, Also, I think just generally the wellspring, while giving us their boon, I don't know if they necessarily approve of us sleeping in their sanctuary.
Yeah, we have two churches that are very tentative. Honestly, I trust the Alberts less.
I think they're our best friends now. I think we're perfectly fine.
If we go outside, do we like lose a significant amount of time?
No, you wouldn't lose any significant amount of time.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't spend a whole lot of stuff in that fight. So uh I'm fine just doing wait. I'm fine just doing like another short rest if we want to keep going. Or yeah.
I got nothing in the tank. I need a good night's sleep
Same.
personally.
Yeah, I'm at
All
a
right,
whopping
yeah.
27 out of 70.
Mm. Yeah, I don't think losing a day would hurt us too much.
Yeah. We should like use this structure in a way though. If we can get to the non-opening side and get shelter around it, that might help with the harshness of the environment here.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, like I said, I got nothing in the tank, but I will take first watch. I, I'm probably the most uh uninjured of us right now. Looking around.
Not a bad call, much appreciated.
All right. You begin to take rest. The wind picks up as night falls, as more snow falls in this area. And you take first watch. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Uh-huh. So very perceptive. That's an 8.
An 8.
Hey.
You are looking around and you don't see anything. But the night goes kind of so it sounds like y'all have went a little bit away from this temple and you're outside, kind of camping. Okay.
Yeah.
You did buy, winter pelts. You were told how to you were kind of given guidance on how to be out here. So yeah, easy enough to do. But yeah, uneventful first watch.
Good. So I'm going to wake up the second watch, who was definitely, I remember they said it
I got it.
was
I got
Grief,
it.
of course. Yeah, yes.
All right, Grief, give me a perception check.
Absolutely nothing's happening tonight. I will just tell you that right now. Don't worry.
Fantastic. We love when nothing happens. Let's see. 22, not net.
22. Okay. With a 22, off in the distance, you see maybe it's a rabbit or something. You see several just make their way across the hill very quickly, trying to seemingly just avoiding some sort of predator, maybe. There could be signs of a predator in the area, but with a 22, you hear a distinctive sound. You're a warrior. You know the sound of a leather strap smacking against a shield. Somebody is trudging with a shield in hand over that crest.
Okay. And we're just going to keep an eye on things.
I assume you have a fire, you have light here, keeping yourselves warm.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay. a figure crests the hill. You can see kind of the silhouette. The ribbons of light have come out at this time of night in the pitch black. You can see this figure silhouetted by the lights in the sky, the shield in hand, covered in a massive leather fur coat. You see the outline of the fur around clearly helmeted face, and another figure kind of taller and thinner, but still in bulky winter's clothes, also crest the hill, and you see that they are looking down the hill at you, but you cannot make out any faces from where you are. This crest is probably 500 feet from you.
Okay. And how long ago did Fed and I swap?
It's probably been maybe an hour.
Okay, so a little while till the next person's on as well.
Mm-hmm. But you can see that they see you, and they don't break away to continue their journey. They seem to begin to try to make their way down this hill.
Wanted to have a restful night. I will go and wake up whoever's supposed to keep watch next and give them a heads up of what's going on and see if they think we should wake the rest of the group.
Who was taking next watch?
I could take it. So if you wake Torsten up and describe this, like,
Absolutely.
so they just kept standing there, didn't pull back anywhere else.
It seems like they're trying to potentially head down our way.
Okay.
And you can see like they're slowly lumbering this way. Like it seems like they're having trouble moving through the snow, but you can definitely like make out that one is armored, armed, and with a shield.
So possibly a patrol, but they'd be kind of far out.
Hard to say if they're just passing through because they haven't seen anyone in a while, or
See with caution anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Torsten will like kind of shake himself back awake.
What's your move here?
I feel like with at least two of us awake, we can kind of wait a little bit and see what happens, because I'm not feeling like it, their demeanor from a distance so far doesn't seem terribly like aggressive or hostile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't like dart back to report to anybody.
I just don't think it should be only one of us awake just in case something weird happens.
Yeah.
They continue to approach you, and they get within about 100 feet of you. And one of them just shouts out, you can barely hear it over the wind, but he says, "Hail, hail," and just
Hey
starts
there.
kind of waving. And go ahead and give me another perception check as you're trying to hear what they're saying over the wind that is picked up and the snow that's kind of flurrying around.
16.
16. You get the sense that they are asking permission to approach.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah, if they're asking.
What do you say to them?
I guess I'll just kind of like signal that they can like come over rather than yell while two party members are sleeping.
They continue to approach. You can tell that the one taking the lead, the one with the shield, is clearly like having trouble with the snow because of the weight of the armor they are wearing. The other one just seems to be like kind of hobbling or like having trouble moving in general, but doesn't seem as heavily armored. But you do see that there is a scabbard that peeks its way out from underneath one of their leather coat. And as they approach, you say, you hear they say again, they say, "Can we warm ourselves by the fire?" And you recognize the voice. This is it sounds like Elric. It can't be Elric though.
That's odd.
And you're all bundled up here. It's hard to like see anyone's face because it's just so cold here.
Elric?
The the shield like it was being kind of held up like to the side. You see like the arms drop and says, "Grief?"
What the hell are you doing here?
Like takes off the hood and like you see his face. He's saying, "We didn't think what? You're like you can see him like almost cry. He just runs up and hugs you.
Yeah, hug him
Full
back.
armor, like doesn't take you down. You're pretty solid.
Hell are you doing out here?
Sorry, it's been a long journey. Oh, and you see like he's stuck because like he's hugging you, but he like wants to be by the fire. He's like, sorry, my hands are so cold.
No. Come on, come over here. Come on. Let's sit down.
God's beyond. Got friends everywhere, don't you?
Yeah, that we do.
And you still haven't seen the face of the other figure with Elric.
And Torsten has not met Elric yet, correct?
Nope.
No.
Elric, this is Torsten. Torsten, this is Elric. We partied together, ventured together a little bit before Torsten joined us.
Yeah, Torsten, you see this half elven man. He's probably 22. He is wearing armor that it looks like the work of a master craftsman, his own like, but you can tell like it's been tailored and configured in a very special way. And you can see the symbol of a blacksmith's hammer with a salamander wrapped around it, kind of gently like it's like it's almost the shield is embossed with this symbol. You can see the dedication and the care of the symbol of the god of the forge on this shield. Like, and you can see that like as he kind of like opens up his like coat to try and get the warmth from the fire, you can see that it's very simple armor, but very well taken care of. He has blacksmith's tools, a pouch that is carried by his side at all times. His face is kind of gaunt and sunken in. You can tell that he's walked a long way to be here. Looks malnourished, maybe even dehydrated.
Yeah.
Pull out water, rations, etc.
Yeah.
And as you do, the other figure says, "You certainly are a sight for sore eyes." And the figure like lets down the hood. The hat is there, but the person's face is not Billy Bob Bones, but it's Billy's voice. It like you could see the like visage of an like a middle-aged elven man, you know.
Billy, you son of a bitch, and I'll give him a hug.
So thin. He's all bone, it feels like.
That
But
feels normal.
he weakly gives you a hug. You can feel the lack of his exuberance in the hug. It's just kind of half-hearted, a small pat. While the visage is clean shaven, you feel his big mustache has gotten longer as he clearly hasn't kept it trimmed. But it is still waxed.
Fantastic. What are you guys doing out here?
Elric says, "That's a long story, and maybe we should tell it once everyone has gotten up. I don't want to wake everyone."
Yeah, that's fair. We got through quite a battle earlier today. I mean, y'all can certainly settle in, rest with us, and we can chat more in the morning.
Mhm.
Billy you as you continue the rest of your watch, and Elric will lay out his bedroll, and like in this type of weather you have to like just seal yourself into whatever you're sleeping in, so he's fully covered in the bedroll and the big parka he's wearing, and you finish up the rest of your watch. Billy doesn't go to sleep. He just sits. He doesn't watch the fire, but he watches past it. Like his gaze never breaks away from the horizon.
You waiting on someone or something?
I ain't been one to sleep a lot lately. I'll be all right. Don't you fuss over me.
I don't know, Billy. It doesn't look like you're taking such great care of yourself.
He says, "Well, I have certainly seen better days, but this is one rest I'm looking forward to with fine friends. But if you don't mind, I would like to sit and just watch the fire. I'll keep it running."
All right. Sounds good. Get me if you need anything.
Sleep well, my horned friend.
I'll do my best. And I guess I'll go lay down. I mean, I trust Billy enough to watch things.
Yeah. Billy will take watch. As morning comes, the wind kind of dies down. You wake up to the glistening of sunlight across the fresh powder. The forest is so quiet. It's like nothing is here, but everything's so brilliantly white. But Billy is still sitting there. The snow has kind of flurried around where he was sitting. The cold doesn't seem to bother him. When he's still looking across the fire, you can see that he's put on a couple more logs that have kind of died down, but the fire's still going. He says, "Good morning, my friends."
Morning, Sir Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some visitors after you
Yeah.
went back to sleep there, Finn.
Weird. There wasn't anybody out here. Huh. That's a Billy Bones shape right there.
That certainly is.
That's weird.
He has let the disguise his disguise self drop, and his fully mustache self, but his similar to Elric, but even more so, his cheeks are completely sunken in. His skin has gone almost white.
Ah, how did yeah, we all looking for us?
Um, no, no, Miss Fenn, we were not looking for you. We were perhaps on the same pursuit. We've had to keep our heads so low. I'll, I apologize. I am not full of the energy I once was. It's been a long journey to get here, and fates have blessed us enough to put us together once again. And he turns to Torsten. He says, "I do apologize. We've only met a couple of times, and mostly through intermediaries. Billy Bob Bones, Sir William Robert Bones, Night Executioner of the former Kingdom of Zarkan."
Torsten Pinewalker. Former, you say?
That's I feel like that's a story that Mr. Elric should tell when he wakes up in a few. I imagine he'll be up soon.
Hmm.
For now, I'm
Well-
happy to cook you breakfast. Anything if you have some rations you'd like me to warm over the fire.
Yeah, we've got some provisions from
A lot of stuff.
local town. We can see what I can get out of there. Although I did have to give quite a bit of it to the owlbears. I will say that.
That makes perfect sense to me. if an owlbear asks for bacon, you give it bacon. You don't question it.
Hey, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here's some. Yeah. Here's some good eats. Uh, I'm Billy. I'm honestly didn't think I'd ever see you again, so I'm glad. I'm glad you made it out of there.
Um, it's a bittersweet thing, but I'm glad I'm alive too. Um, Billy turns to you, Merlin, and says, "Now you must be Merlin. I've heard a
That's
great deal about you. Some mutual friends, those that watch and those that do.
sure is. Nice to see you, Billy Bones.
Now you've been keeping these folks safe and sound. I've heard you are quite powerful.
To the best of my ability.
That's good to hear. That's all any of us can do. Is do everything to the best of our ability.
Yeah. I mean, he did strike the final blow on a slug last night. Which was more impressive than it sounds, I know, but still.
I have fought many a slug and a worm, been in the side of a many a belly. I'm sure this is a
Same.
story that will go down when we recount your tales at the end of this all.
I too
Uh.
keep ending up in the belly of beasts. I don't understand.
It happens because we get too close to them and we don't back away.
How are you supposed to hit them if you're not close to them?
That's what I tell everybody. Use an arrow? What is wrong with you?
Don't get it.
No, I don't get it either. Elric kind of begins to stir and like pushes the like bedroll over. The snow kind of falls off of it that has kind of built up on top. The armor is he's kind of wrapped it in whatever like tarp he could to keep as much moisture off it as possible. And he's in his what looks to be just he wears kind of just peasant clothes. He doesn't wear anything fine. It's just a tunic that it looks dirty and well worn that he keeps, this is what keeps the ring mail off his body. And he kind of stretches out and says, "Good morning, everyone." Oh good, the fire's still going. Oh. How's hello, I'm Elric. Sees you, Fen, and like gives you a hug, like just comes up to you. It's so good to see you.
Oh, hey, Elric. I thought you were heading home. It's good to see you.
Yeah, got kind of went back and helped Mr. Bones here. Oh, we got caught up in Zarkan, I think about the time you left, and things went down. Um,
So Billy made an offhand comment about former Zarkan. I take it not much remains after the dragon battle.
I guess. Well, if Billy's not going to tell the story, it sounds like Billy shakes his head. He says, "Not today. That's a job for the young person in our group." And Horik just kind of shakes his head at that. I guess if we have time, I can tell you what happened.
Yes, please tell us.
When you left, the city was attacked by 3 dragons. Something no one there was prepared for. The blue dragon that I know we've seen before that attacked in brambles. The dragon known as the Razor, the red dragon known as the Lava Bather, and a black dragon that I didn't manage to catch its name, but all attacked at the same time, I know you all saw that. We stayed back. We fought in the streets. We fought alongside the army of Zarkan. We were there for days. They all just kind of blend together when, even now thinking back about it, just triage, buildings burning, everything's destroyed. The Black Dragon completely disassembled the castle on the island. And this went on for days. We just helped people where we could. We kept the survivors. We got who we could out. All the while fighting skirmishes with the restoration that would show up always under the cover of a dragon, which made things really complicated and really deadly. Especially the red dragon, the lava bather. Like, she's so young, she's so small, she didn't fly everywhere. You never knew what corner she was going to be around. We lost so many people. And we got word that Versailles was involved in the conflict now. Vosna, the elves, declared that they were going to send troops to help. And they did. They marched on Zarkan in numbers. They managed to drive out these dragons. An incredible amount of troops flooded into Zarkan. And for a while, we thought we were safe. We began talking to them, working with them, their generals, sergeants, troops, but eventually we started to see our faces on posters, wanted. There were new rules, curfews set by the army. The general, he declared himself governor of Zarkan. The temples closed. Open worship was banned. Things have gotten bad. We had no choice but to leave, and Zarkan wasn't the only place hit though that day. They hit all the capitals. Crescent seemed to have fended them off, but that's the heart of the Helminor society is centered there. Their wizards are not to be trifled with, and they managed to keep things at bay, so they're not under the influence. But everywhere that went down, the dragons, we've heard word that the Vossen army has moved in.
Yeah, I thought it was odd that they would dedicate so much to a cause they seem disinterested in.
Mm-hmm.
Billy's still looking. He's still been just staring off to the distance. And he says, there's always a dictator waiting in the wings, waiting for his moment to take the stage. And I think the restoration just lifted the curtain on that one.
Shit.
So sorry.
It's not your fault. Everyone we've talked to, every little contact we've had, we've only heard great things about what you're doing. That you've still been on the quest, that you went to Vosna and you've stopped them at every stage you could. I mean, you're not government, you're 4 people. I guess we're 6 people right now. And a handful of stragglers here and there.
No. Did Elric, did Kessa make it through?
I haven't heard from her. She was, as far as I remember, she was still down in Brambles. But if there's fighting to do and she still has a sword that she can lift, she's going to be somewhere.
Well, I guess there's not a whole lot of time to waste then if the elves are attempting to take over the world and riding in on the backs of dragons. Figuratively, I imagine, not literally.
Yeah. They're definitely they're telling people that it's for their safety. That they are rooting out the cult from the land and then they'll leave.
Yeah.
Until there's the next thing.
Until it's
The
the next
next.
thing.
The next.
What exactly is your plan from here? What are y'all trying to do now?
Well, Billy seems to, once we didn't have a place to be and kind of persona non grata amongst the armies, we kind of have been dodging them here and there, but we got word that the restoration was building something up this way. They had taken timber from Zarkan. Seems they have some collaborators there and had been shipping it up this way along with the things they've been raiding.
That Rami fellow helped us figure that out as well.
Yeah. At this point, it's hard to know who's a friend and who's a foe.
Mm-hmm.
But Billy says, Rami can be trusted with your life. He's a good friend. Though he wears the mantle of a Boston senator, he's a good friend, and he'll look out for you if you need him. They're all friends in this world, though it may not feel like it right now.
He's been nothing but helpful to us thus far.
Elric says, I'm not sure what Billy wanted to do once we got here, considering that, it's just me and him. Billy doesn't even shrug or respond to this. And Elric says, but we figured we'd do whatever we could, and if we could halt them even 1 inch, it might give people time to do something right, get the world the way it should be again.
Open some opportunities of our own.
Well, one thing we might be able to do, since dragons and the dragon cult seem to be uniting and destroying, there's a white dragon in this area that, at least we think it's a white dragon. If we can stop them, maybe they won't be able to aid their allies. Of course, that probably means before we try to strike down this white dragon, we need to stop the cultists wherever they're at here in the region.
Billy nods to that and he says, I think if we can stop them here, we can at least stem their lines of communications, maybe some lines of revenue. Do we still have any word about what this massive wealth they are gathering is even for?
I don't even know if we've gotten hints past what we saw in the cave oh so long ago. It was that the signage of Tiamat, and it seems to be something to do with bringing her back. But also wealth brings power, might be where their head's at. And I mean, they're working with kobolds, and kobolds just seem to be like shiny things equals good, so there's also that.
Kobolds are noble little creatures, but kind of short-lived. They lack longitudinal thinking.
Yeah, I wonder how those kobolds are doing that we saved before we invaded that cave.
I'm sure absolute mayhem.
Yeah, possibly.
A noble endeavor indeed.
Uh, well,
Hmm.
Billy, thank you for breakfast.
Of course. Billy is actually like warming up some he's taken like pine needles and made like kind of a tea from it. He says, "It'll help with your constitution."
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So is this us getting the band back together? Are you gonna continue the two of you on your own? Are you joining us? What's the gameplay
Well,
here?
Elric says, "Well, considering that we almost died several times trying to get here, I think it's best we stay with you and we have a common goal." So he looks at you for a second. He's like, "Honestly, please say we can come with you." Like,
Yeah, of course. I would never say no.
um, he says, "Excellent, good, okay."
I just got to make sure your character sheet's updated.
He says,
Oh, I got a nosebleed suddenly. What happened? Ah.
Lord Legacy, it's everywhere.
he says, "So yeah, I got a few more tricks that I can help out with. It's
Yeah, we can always use the help. We like I said, well, you weren't here for that. I was telling Billy I keep getting swallowed by animals. Not animals, giant monstrous things. It's not ideal. I do not enjoy it.
that doesn't sound fun, to be completely honest with you. What
It's
kind
not.
of things? What's big enough to swallow you?
A very large worm, a very large sea dragon monster thing.
You fought a sea dragon?
I
Oh
don't
wow, we need to
actually
catch
know
up.
what it is, but it looks kind
Billy,
of
Actually,
dragon.
Grief, I don't know if you actually ended up. I think you jumped onto the neck of that sea creature, if I remember correctly.
Oh, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very dangerous, though. Very, very dangerous.
Yeah. I really thought I got swallowed by something else.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Hmm. I don't remember what it was. But just
Um,
yesterday, giant worm.
yeah. You got a different worm, what was it?
Oh,
It's
it's always
the
worms.
Yeah, it was a different worm.
Two different
It
worms.
was a remoraz. That's what swallowed you the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was here in the ice. It
Yeah.
was.
Really giant worm things.
Billy says, you know, I heard that whalers used to use their blood as heaters on their ships.
Wait, they use their blood as what?
Heaters, like little, instead of fire, you don't want to fire on a ship, but their blood remains incredibly warm at all times.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be able to use that as some sort of fuel source. Then Torsten will like pull out a journal and start writing things down.
Taking
Yeah, I feel like I
notes.
heard a engineer once propose to a captain that he could improve the propulsion of a ship by lighting a bonfire under her deck. Captain wasn't so happy with that idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea, but it might just be crazy enough to work.
You boil the water hot enough.
Oh no, Torsten, I didn't mean to give you ideas. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
um, Billy kind of stands up slowly and dusts himself off, and he takes his hat, which is kind of sat on like on top of his bedroll, puts it on his head, and it seems to almost dwarf him in size. But the big feathers stick out. He kind of puts the hood over the hat, which kind of pushes the hood out some, and one feather is sticking up from in front of the hood. And he says, "Once more, onward to adventure."
Onward.
Off we go.
To adventure.
Yes, sir.
And
Off
as
into
you
her
break down
journeys.
camp and make your way onto the road once more, that's where we're going to take our first break. So we'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes. We hope to see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good break. So we are off to heading toward the restoration encampment. You know you've traveled far enough. The wind has calmed down. The skies are clear. You kind of have to like keep your eyes covered because it is so bright out here. Go ahead and everyone make a group stealth check.
Merlin got a 5.
Torsten also got a 5.
Oh God. 11.
23 for Fen.
Okay. Let's see. Billy doesn't seem to make much noise. While Elric seems he has a little more of a struggle to keep quiet as he is carrying a shield, a sword, and is wearing armor, but at least his armor is being kind of muffled by the cold weather gear that he is wearing. But you are not the stealthiest group, but there's not a lot of people out here. There's not a lot to see, but you continue to make your way through this tundra, and eventually you see signs of denser forest, which were promised to you. An evergreen forest. The snow last night has covered most of these trees in white, whereas this would be a contrasting green against the snow. It still looks just as white as everything else here. But you see that there are in the snow recent tracks on the trails ahead of you. Carts, footprints. You can easily make your way through the woods at the kind of slower pace you've been at. What would you like to do? You are starting to see signs that there are people here. You see that some of the trees in the forest have also been cut down, and there are signs that logging has taken place here.
And they don't seem to be trying to disguise this at all up here, right?
It's pretty remote. Most people wouldn't come this far out at all unless they were like hunting game, but they wouldn't stay here much longer than that.
Okay.
So yeah, you are correct though. It looks like they're not making any effort to hide that things are happening here.
All right. I point that out to the group and I mention to them in their heads. If we can be as quiet as possible, stealth might be on our side. They don't at all expect anyone to be here.
Okay.
You got it.
I'll probably keep to the back then.
All right. I'll let y'all go ahead and make another stealth check as y'all continue forward, as you now know where they are kind of moving and where they are active based on the tracks in the freshly fallen snow.
I rolled the exact same thing.
Beautiful.
Let's say a 28 for Fen.
I assume the rogue just passes. I don't know what to say.
I mean, listen, I can roll a natural one. I've been known to roll natural ones in the past. It's possible.
You'll never guess, but I also rolled the exact same thing.
Beautiful.
I rolled a 4.
The dice
got-
were like, don't ask again.
The other
I
die
said
each
what
time
I
was
said.
different.
You think you're doing okay, but you are crunching the snow as the heat from the snow has now made like the top of this what was once fresh powder into like this crunchy exterior. So like you're crunching and compacting snow as you're trying to be stealthy going around this. But you get closer to the encampment, you start to hear the sounds of construction. You hear sawing, hammering, and then you see it as you crest a hill in this a tree-lined hill. You are kind of back in the trees still, which it's pretty lucky. You're not being quiet, but the snow is at least keeping you from being heard long distances. But you are kind of up on a hill, and what you are seeing below you in the valley is work being done. Easily hundreds of people here building different types of outbuildings. There seems to be one larger building in the center. But what really catches your attention is what the backdrop to all this is. As if jutting into the sky, huge shards of ice kind of starburst up as if it's a claw trying to reach the sky. You see that there are buildings and scaffolding all over these spires. And you see that the center seems to have windows and balconies. Go ahead and give me perception. Perception checks.
8.
8.
10.
10.
That's a 1. I mean, it's a 3, but it's a natural 1.
I have rolled a 10 3 times in a row, but that's a 15 for me.
Ooh.
Oh, a 15.
It's
With a
just weird to have it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get a sense of perspective of, like, you see the balconies on here, but Grief, you grew up in hills and like these kind of open plains. You know like what something looks like at a distance. It's the balconies and windows are impossibly large for how far away that tower is. It's almost like it's almost like the perspective of it makes it feel closer to you, but you know how far it is, and you're like, that window is 25 feet tall, but it's like carved into the ice of this center spire in the middle of this, what just looks like a blast of ice. Like it looks like a dragon just breathed ice into this area, but impossibly large.
Like it was built for them or created for them.
It was probably created for something that size, but you've never known a dragon to build a tower.
Yo, that thing's like really, really big. Bigger than it should be.
Oh, it's not just super close. Hang on.
No, it's very,
you're right.
very, very big.
And now you're starting to, as you continue to look at it, you can see people on the scaffolding and you get that sense of perspective as it is now pointed out to you.
Ugh. Oh yeah, those little like specks. Those are actually human size, huh? Oh man.
What the hell would make something like that?
How do we find out what beings occupied this space?
You can give me history or arcana.
Okay. Got an 11 for history.
An 11. Okay.
Natty one.
Oh,
Number of the day, that is a 10 for Arcana.
okay.
2 plus 8.
Okay. Saving the day with my ridiculous high score in history. That's a 15.
A 15.
With a roll of 4, it's a 15.
Amazing.
And also you have the archaeologist background, right?
Yes.
This was built for giants. But with your history, giants haven't been seen in centuries. There was a war with dragons long, long ago. probably before the elves even arrived. And they just kind of fucked off to somewhere else. It's a little unclear, but this is definitely probably the home of some type of giant, either an ice giant, a cloud giant. It's impossible to say without further, but you, with the humanoid type architecture and the magic that it would have taken to build something like this, that's the only explanation you can come up with.
I don't know what purpose the cultists are trying to put this to, but those were giant structures.
Yeah, I can see that. It's huge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yes, the giants. Are you familiar with giants? Let me start there.
I've heard a story or two, but don't know much.
Okay, fair. Before they left, I'm guessing before their battles with the dragons in the past, these structures were built. But I mean, a dragon's not going to want to live in there, and I don't know what a cultist is going to do with a room that is 15 times bigger than it needs to be for them.
Billy will kind of pipe up and says, usually my problem is that a room is too small, not too large.
Which, for the most part,
Relatable.
yeah. But, I mean, just imagine, like, the doorknobs have got to be at the wrong height.
Absolutely huge knockers for the doors.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
I mean, with enough work, most of that would be with enough work, most of that could be overcome. So maybe they're planning on moving more people in.
Are these benign structures or malevolent?
What an interesting question. I'm going to let you roll another history check.
All right. 24.
There you go. You're starting to put all of this together. This is a fortress. Those spikes are to keep something away from the keep. This was probably built during a fight with dragons.
Okay. I mean, there's definitely structures here that are designed to harm it. Do we see, are they taking apart the things that are designed to keep dragons away? Or are they leaving those structures in place?
They are leaving, well, there's nothing here to you get the sense that they are just adding on to this. They are retrofitting this for some reason. You can see now, like, as you continue to investigate and survey the area, where pieces of the facade have crumbled from, a melt thaw cycle, but still there seems to be some kernel of magic that keeps this frozen perpetually. And you can see that they are just shoring up some things and also building out ways for humans to access this area. But they're not dismantling it. They seem to, everything they're doing is additive.
It's
And
interesting that these cultists who seem to be allies with the dragons aren't taking apart the structures that will hurt the dragons. Are they looking for a fallback?
when I say that this is meant to like hurt dragons, it's like spikes in the ground around like a wooden fort. It's if a dragon charged this place, it would make it more treacherous for it to get there. But if there's no one slinging spells, arrows, and spears at you, you can easily just move up close to it. There's no magical prevention here. It's just
All right. I mean that probably is the case, but Fenn's conspiracy theory brain is winding right now.
If not possibility. Maybe they're just trying to build up a new front, or at the very least, some sort of stronghold up here.
Yeah. Okay. everyone try to get a good count. If we're infiltrating, we need to know how many guards we might be facing.
For sure.
There's a lot. Elric says there's a lot of people here. Do we have disguises or anything to kind of
Well, three of us do.
mingle amongst them?
Well, I'm still holding on to my acid guard outfit.
I was going to say,
Not
we
that
have that whole uniform.
Yeah, Grief Merlin requisitioned some proper disguises a while back.
Oh, that's right. And you got them right after the battle.
Yeah.
And I can disguise myself.
Billy uses a disguise self spell as well and looks like just a elven cultist, a half elf cultist, just a normal person.
Do we get a third I guess instance of those vestments, or do we just get one for myself and Merlin?
I think you were given a bunch, like you were given like a
Okay.
stack of them.
Sweet.
Yeah. Frankly, I don't think the acid guard outfit will get me very far. They know what went down in I imagine, I mean, I guess acid guard could be rebuilt, but we kind of took them out. So
E-
I'll use the newer vestments.
Give this far out. Word could have traveled. We'll raise some questions.
Yeah.
Well, is there even a uniform color among these people? Like, is this a specific guard of the restoration?
It doesn't seem to be a specific guard. The acid guard was kind of a special case. It seemed to be like those who were close to specifically to Jax Fletcher. But the rest of them seem to be like, some of them are just wearing like laboring clothes. But you see a lot of them, their leather is dyed a red color. There are a few who have stark white leather overcoats, but the vast majority of them are wearing this like kind of reddish brown kind of leather coat, and the leather is like kind of cut to look like wings are draped across the shoulders, which is the kind of uniform that you have as well.
Good. So yeah, if two of us can disguise self accordingly, and we can get one of that color for the rest of us, that might be good to like high out take however long it takes to gear up in that if you want to go for the quiet approach.
Yeah. And I mean, if we can try to work our way in there without drawing anybody's eyes, that'd be even better, but the disguises will certainly help, hopefully.
Billy says, well, it certainly can't hurt.
I'm imagining all this in like a very like war movie scenario where we're on our elbows and knees on the hill with binoculars. Yeah, I'm happy with that angle if everyone else is.
Certainly happy.
Absolutely.
Right. You all give yourself disguises. You can, so as you enter, I'm going to either need stealth or deception to get your way in here. You will do so at advantage because you have disguised yourself as cultists, and there's a lot of cultists here.
24 deception.
Amazing.
17 deception.
That would be a 31 on stealth for.
You said advantage, yes?
Correct.
Sweet, because it was a nat 1, but then it was a nat 20.
Oh.
And I will do deception. So 22.
22. Okay. Yeah. You all gear up. What's it look like as you kind of lumber your way into this encampment? You as you get down closer, you see that people are coming in with you seem to come here at the same time a shipment has come in to the area. Um, Maybe not from the sea route. Maybe they have some other way of getting things up here, but all roads are seemingly leading to here. But there is a mass of cultists. They seem like they're from all over the place. You hear kind of different accents amongst them talking to each other. And it is just over full of gold, fine clothing, and lumber. So that is kind of moving its way into this encampment, which is not walled off or anything. It just seems to be they're building out in a clearing that they have cleared out outside of this massive fortress. How would you like to integrate yourself into this group?
Torsten is used to working on big projects with a team, so it is the epitome of just look like you belong, being ready to take direction. It's like, all right, where you need me? Just acting like he's supposed to be here.
Yeah. You kind of just walk over, look like you're supposed to be doing something. The cart kind of stops and they begin unloading it, and someone just hands you a crate of full of all these riches. It is heavy, but they just hand it to you, and you kind of see where they're kind of staging it. And looking at the kind of pattern of movement here, it seems they are unloading this, putting it in a staging area, and then people are coming from the fortress itself. It kind of the path kind of winds behind all these ice spikes, but people are coming back and forth, bringing riches in, using a donkey and like a sled, and they are bringing riches into the fortress.
I will follow suit as well and just go over and take something from someone and follow suit.
All right. Fen, Merlin, you doing anything different?
Fen doesn't really know how to blend into a crowd, what with her sticking out like a sore thumb in most places she goes. So instead, she's bouncing from pillar to pillar, hiding behind things, listening for the opportunity to move from place to place.
Merlin also tries to blend in and helps with bringing riches into the fortress.
Excellent. Yeah, they will continue to hand you things as you are helping moving things. One of the people in white robes, she has dark hair. It's all pulled back, and she has like earmuffs on, but as she turns her face, you see that the right side of her face has become white scales, and she's just looking and observing. Her right eye is yellow with that lizard like slit in the eye, and she just is walking around, her hand on a hilt of a sword, as she's just observing the going ons here. One of the cultists will come up to you, Torsten. Fen, you from a distance, you will recognize this person as somebody you gave a second chance to and ended up right back in the cult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You saw the other one is working in Rusea, but this is one of the other ones you let go and has somehow ended up back here. It says, hey, my name's John. Kind of reaches a hand out to you. Says, you new here? I haven't seen you around.
Yeah, I just came in a while back with some of the others. Yeah, still trying to get lay the place. Trying to still meet who I'm working with really.
Well, it's a good posting. a little less blood and turmoil than some of the other places, but I was hoping to get assigned somewhere a little warmer, but
Tell me about it.
yeah, I guess anything becomes a job though. So
Yeah.
just try to be happy where you are.
Amen to that.
Well, anyway, yeah. If you need anything, let me know. I'm in Barrack C over there. You just come by. Or I'll be loading stuff with you for the rest of the day. Have you got a chance to see the Horde yet?
Haven't had the pleasure.
I keep telling them they should do that as part of the new recruit orientation. It really puts the awe of our offering in perspective.
Hmm.
And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, making a proper offering to the mother of dragons.
Yeah, totally.
Do I need to make you roll a deception check?
Huh?
Go and roll one.
Such
I did-
conviction.
Did you
did
roll
have the
deception?
consideration of like, yeah, I initially rolled deception.
Okay. We'll stick with that.
Yeah. I was like, okay, how good is he keeping up this line? It's like, okay, 17 is pretty decent. So it's like, oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, look, okay. Oh, you're not like the religious type. Okay, that's fine. And we have all types here. It's a big tent. We're all here together. We're all for the glory of a new world. Maybe you don't worship. That's fine. No judgments from me.
Just nice to occupy your time, be a part of the team, be part of a team.
Yeah, but really, you should see it. It's quite something. And the dragon that guards it, really, truly a beautiful creature."
I'll see if I can find the time.
Grief. Try not to react, but one of those people we tried to give a second chance to, he is talking to Torsten right now.
I gotcha. I guess we shouldn't have let him go. Well, shit.
I'd rather let 100 guilty people go than chase after them.
It's fair. Very fair.
You see that actually the cultist you're talking about goes and talks to the one in the white robes and like kind of is pointing at you all and or to Torsten at least, and she begins to approach you, Torsten. She says, there's kind of this growl in her voice that catches occasionally, but she says, I see we got some new folks here. Would you like to see the Horde and its glory?
I'd be honored.
Grief, what do you look like at this point?
I would probably stay in the wheelchair. But what is like the most common type of folks they have here?
Mostly human.
Okay, then I just make myself look like a generic, boring human.
And yeah, she will point to
I try to
anyone.
keep most of my proportions very similar because I know that, I don't want someone to think I'm thinner or bigger than I am and then accidentally have their hand go weird. So I'll keep my, normal sort of proportions as best I can.
Yeah. She'll point to you and also a few other cultists who also like perk up at being able to hear it. She will say, "All right, follow me."
Cool.
And you see Fen from your perspective, from the outside. Oh, also Billy, who's disguised in Elric here as well, get kind of pulled into this. Like it becomes like, well, we got new recruits now. We're gonna give them the tour of the place. Are you, Fen, are you following close behind as they begin to approach the fortress?
I would not say close, but I am keeping within sight of them.
Okay.
And I think I would relay information as well that hey Finn, they're taking us to go look at
Yeah.
the horde.
For sure.
Keep
For
you
sure.
posted.
All right.
You are brought in through around this first massive spike, and it's easily 100 feet in the air. But there is a path that goes up to this. It seems like it's kind of trodden, and they worked a path in through these spikes into a kind of makeshift road to move things back and forth. You are brought in to the first level of this fortress, and it soars above you. Everything glistens and gleams and sparkles as if it's made of diamond, but it is so clearly made of ice. And it's in such contrast to the things that these cultists have brought in, which is just dingy, dirty, wooden. It seems almost profane in a way with the grandeur of this place, to see all this staging material here of this place under construction for humans. You are brought through, and one of the figures that's here on the floor is pale white skin. She wears wizard's robes, specifically robes of the Helminor Society, and specifically in the pattern of the wizards from Crescent, which you've seen before because you've seen the Archduke Grogziel and the type of robes he wears. Her skin is very pale. Her hair has almost thinned completely away. She kind of is looking down at her nose at everyone here. It's almost like she floats over the space. Her feet don't move under her robes. And she is just watching and keeping an eye. She doesn't seem too concerned about any of you. But for a moment, Torsten, her lip quivers at something, and you see the sharp fang. And she turns away and continues her business.
Interesting. Does she appear to be going through something similar to what this officer is going through?
No. Whatever it's not there's no scales or anything like that. She looks like a corpse.
Oh. I was gonna say, you mentioned the hair thinning. Does this person look particularly older, or is she just deteriorating in a different way?
It seems almost like she's deteriorating. Her body's going through something. But you look at her for a moment, you think she's probably fairly young if whatever was happening wasn't happening to her.
Huh. Worth noting.
But she doesn't wear the robes of a cultist. She is clearly a wizard.
Huh.
A society wizard at that.
Some things are being connected. But yeah, Torsten doesn't really rely on anything just yet, just kind of plays along.
Mm-hmm. You are continued to be led through this place, and instead of going up into this tower, you're actually brought below. And what is below this place seems to have been a natural cavern of some sort. It's like the inside was melted out of this ice structure. And the pathway down stops at a massive chasm. But across the chasm, you see just mountains of gold, of jewels, treasures, entire carts, and atop of it, a massive sleeping white dragon. The person in the white robe, she does not attend you down here. She says, be extremely quiet. You may look, do not stay there long.
Merlin looks at the white dragon and his jaw sort of drops as he feels like he's in disbelief at what he's looking at.
I will relay to Fen. There is a very large white dragon in here, and more gold and jewels and things than I have ever seen in my life.
Did they relay what it's what they're doing that for?
Not yet.
There are other cultists here with you, and they're all kind of whispering to each other about what they're seeing for the first time as well.
We've been told to be very quiet, but we'll try to get some more chatting happening. Maybe when we're not by the giant sleeping dragon.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, is the guy that we've encountered before with you?
He came down with you.
Yes. Yeah, he's here.
I have terrible thoughts, but I'm gonna keep them to myself for now.
Yeah, if that guy's here, then Torsten will start to like we'll actually start whispering like that you're right, that's very impressive. Don't think I've seen anything like this.
He'll kind of like put his finger up and kind of point back up into the thing as these whispers kind of start slowly escalating, as people are prone to do. The dragon's eye opens quickly. It doesn't move its head, but you feel the temperature in this room drop 5 degrees easily.
Torsten will nod and then point upwards as well.
Yeah, I'll fall back.
That's really something, ain't it?
Yeah, that's truly impressive.
An offering fit for a god.
You can say that again.
I don't know the full extent of what the plan is, but there's a special place, a special mountain where she can come back into our world and start the rule of dragons again. All we're doing is gathering it here. This is just a staging ground. They got some big plan to move it from here down south somewhere.
Well,
that.
well, and this dragon here won't. I guess is a part of this plan as well. Like it's not gonna get mad that this horde is being taken for a different dragon.
As far they told me, this dragon volunteered to do this, to guard this horde. Now some big things happening, and it's truly just so exciting to be here.
Grief is relaying all of this like a translator, basically. Just FYI.
For sure. For sure.
Really feels like all this is on an even greater scale than I could have imagined. Goes deeper, goes wider.
Yeah, it's the inner circle, they really have some major sway. So I'm just a guy. I'm just happy to be here, but the keeper of the red crown, he's something to behold. He's really got this whole thing figured out. I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop us at this point.
Be a tall task.
But but listen to me, I'm preaching to the choir here. Don't mind me going on. We got a job to do. We should probably not be dilly-dallying. They get kind of mad.
Yeah, I bet. That the lady in the white robes that brought us in here. What's her deal?
Oh, she is. She's the lieutenant for the keeper of the White Crown. Her name's Lucinda. That's all I got. So it's best not to address her.
Yeah, management's like that.
She is in charge of the whole moving thing. So I do talk to her sometimes, and let me talk. If you need to talk to her, let me talk to her. I got a little bit of a rapport going on.
Good call, good call. Yeah.
Yeah. There's this other woman here. Back when I first joined, there was this camp, and she ran that camp. They were doing something with eggs. It was real interesting stuff, honestly. But that place got raided. We all went our separate ways. Somebody threatened to kill me if I ever came back, so I just went further away from there, hoping it would be fine. But yeah, she's here, and she's not happy. Do not. She wears red. You can't miss her.
Yeah, and I'd have a bit of a bone to grind myself. But,
Oh, but not the other woman, not the wizard lady. The wizard
Oh,
lady,
yeah.
I don't know what her deal is.
yeah, she really had like some kind of skin problem or something.
Yeah, I don't. It's it's unsettling.
Yeah. Like you said that someone threatened you if you came back. You're really dedicated to this, ain't you?
You know, nothing has given me purpose like knowing that one day we will be ruled by the perfect creatures. And above all of them will be the most glorious dragon of them all. And it just brings me so much joy and purpose, something I didn't really have. I was pretty down on my luck before I found this group.
Yeah, I've been there.
And here I get 3 square meals. I always have something to do. I got good friends here. It's honestly great. And when the world is ruled by fire, ice, and acid, it's just going to be better. Kings and everything will no longer subject us, and we will be free.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, it's getting like lunchtime. Well, we should go grab some food.
Alrighty. Wow. Time flies.
And as he
Yeah.
takes you away, and you all have taken in this place, and we'll give you some time to think, but we are at the end of tonight's session. 2 hours goes by way too fast.
Mhm.
Thank you everyone who has come and joined us. Thank you to these players. Let's go ahead and do our outros. We'll start with you, Levi.
Hey, I am Levi. You can find me at Levi597 on Twitter and like the jeans at bluesky.social. I'm mostly just hyping up other projects that I'm a fan of. I like to think I have good taste. So yeah, if you see the little retweeted slash reposted by me, that is the Levi seal of approval.
Awesome. Silver.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as over on YouTube. If you want to see me doing other various TTRPG related things, I have something called Capes and Caverns, which we ideally do every other Monday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time here on Twitch on my channel. And we have a back catalog of seasons 1 and half of season 2 over on YouTube. Where you can enjoy superhero shenanigans.
Awesome. Tara.
You can find me most Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time here, and that's me.
Fantastic. Jaden.
Hey friends, I am Soliloquy Jaden. You can find me everywhere online as FatSapphicBro. I mostly hang out on TikTok and make random videos. Come hang out if you'd like. As for streaming, all the details are in the announcements, but I'm here on Twitch most Sundays, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., most Tuesdays, 6 to 9 p.m., and most Wednesdays, 2 to 5 p.m., all Pacific time, but not the last 7 days of each month. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Awesome. And I'm Archangelic. You can find me here at all the time Siliqui said in the announcements. I play in every game on this channel. So you can also find many links for me on my website, archangelic.space. I do maintain my own website. So I am also breaking into professional GMing on startplaying.games. If you're interested in having me GM a game for you, you can book me at startplaying.games/GM/archangelic. I have a Girl by Moonlight game. I'm thinking about running a Root game, because that seems really fun. So, which is powered by the apocalypse, sword and sorcery with animals. It seems fantastic. If you've missed any of our games, you can check them out on YouTube. The link is in our channel description, and it should also be in our link tree. We also have a podcast version of this game. You can search up Era of the Dragons or Lantern Light Adventures anywhere you can find podcasts. We are going to be going into our Patreon supported after show shortly. You can find those at patreon.com/Lantern Light Adventures. The after shows will always be free, but your support would mean the world to us. I'm way behind on the after shows. I really apologize. Just got busy with real life things. So I'm going to get all the VODs and podcasts and after shows up as soon as possible. Sorry about that, y'all. Well, with all that said, thank you to these wonderful players. Thank you to our wonderful audience for joining us. And lastly, thank you to our producer, Polygeist, for helping us stream this show. We all appreciate you, and we couldn't do it without you. With all that said, we love you, and we hope to see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye. Goodbye.